Our group is called Premiere Productions, and our opening credits is called The Infected.
I'm Joe Edwards.
I'm Darryl Ellis.
I'm Tom Bannister.
And I'm Alex Pearce. Our media product uses develops and challenges forms and conventions of normal horror films. This develops some of our ideas for the video from real media products like 28 Days Later and Shaun of the Dead, but we challenge a traditional horror type of media by making ours different.
We balanced our video with the theme of horror and comedy. This is something which isn't used often, and we took inspiration from the film Shaun of the Dead. Comedy isn't used throughout the whole piece, but when it is used, it is quite effective. So basically, we have developed the idea of a zombie-infected person going around and trying to kill normal people in the genre of a horror/comedy. But we've made it quite funny at the same time by over-exaggerating certain things that make a similar horror product scary. For example, the sound effects and the use of makeup.
We represent young, white, middle-class males in our video. These young adults were represented by the clothes they wear. From this you can see that they are middle class. We also represented the infected. These were quite similar to zombies. We represented the zombies by using typical sound effects that zombies are known to make. We also changed the colour of the screen to red when showing a point of view shot from the infected. This represents the blood that is in their eyes. This again is a typical characteristic of zombies that is represented in horror movies. The audience who watched our piece responded in a similar way when it came to representation in our opening credits.
They believed that the representation was good. The infected, or zombie, represented a typical zombie from certain films. They thought that this representation was good because it made them clearly know that this was a zombie and not just another normal person. We wanted to achieve quite a lot of realism in our video, as we thought that this would make it better. We thought that we achieved this by making the camera handheld and shaky. We thought that this represented a real life chase. We also used makeup and blood on the infecteds. This achieved realism, as infected zombies are usually represented by having a different face to normal people and by having blood on them somewhere. Media institutions like 20th Century Fox have smaller subdivision companies that they work with. These would be most likely to distribute our product. One of these small subdivision companies is called Fox Atomic. Fox Atomic produces action horror movies and that are targeted at young adults. This is very similar to the target and genre of ours, so this could be a possibility. Fox Atomic also distributed the film Shaun of the Dead. Our film is quite similar to this, so this company could be interested with distributing our product.
The audience for our media product would be aimed at young adults. It is slightly more aimed at males rather than females, like most films with horror in it. Our media product is something that young adults would go to watch at the movies with their friends, rather than a family event or a boyfriend-girlfriend occasion. Other media studies students could also take some inspiration from our piece, as there isn't many other videos that have a similar genre to ours, which are done by media studies students.
When people saw our media production, they responded in the way that we wanted them to. They found most of the production quite disturbing, but a little bit later, after seeing the exaggeration in our piece, they found it quite funny and felt as if they wanted to watch more. This was good for us because we made our horror disturbing and the exaggerated parts were funny. We put a lot of fast-paced action into the 2 minutes, and this made them concentrate for the whole length of the opening sequence. The music and the sound effects used also made them interested with what was going on. They thought that the continuity and editing was good. It was clear and apparent to the viewer with a good meaning.
We have learnt a lot about technologies from the process of constructing this product. We have learnt how to film the footage, how to edit footage, and how to make and edit sound effects, and finally how to put it all together. We used lots of new software products that we didn't have previously. We used Sony Vegas and Windows Movie Maker to edit our products. We have learnt how to change the colour of the screen to red for the point of view shots from the infected.
We learned how to make sound effects on a video camera and how to edit it so it could be used over action. We did this by changing the format of the sound to an MP3 and then cut the bits we didn't need and applying the right sound to the right action. We also learned how to put our written work onto a blog, so when it came to putting our coursework together, we just took the writing from our blogs and put it all together.
We have learnt a lot from our preliminary task. We made obvious mistakes in the preliminary task when it came to continuity and sound, so this time we did more takes on some footage to eliminate continuity and other mistakes. We used synchronous music that fitted in well with the timing of the action. We learnt this time to fade in and fade out the music so it would be clear to the viewer. We also learnt that the location and set of the filming is very important. This is because it adds more depth to the story and is apparent to the viewer. We have learnt about different editing techniques and shots that we used in our piece. For example, the point of view shots from the infected that were seen in red.
We made a couple of changes from our storyboard into our opening credits film. For our storyboard, one actor had to play two parts. When we filmed, he just played the one part of the character who gets bitten and becomes infected, then attacks his friend.
In the storyboard, we included two extreme close-up shots of one person's eyes. We decided, even though this was a good idea, that we were not going to include this into our footage. This is because the shots were stills, and so wouldn't flow with the action well. This is an opening credits for a film, not a short film. This opening 2 minutes describes the story for the whole film. It is about how the infection is spreading from people to people. The whole film would be about how far the infection is going to spread and what is done to combat this infection.
Thanks for listening to our commentary.